Welcome, guys, to the 46th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for February 3rd. It's the 3rd, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh.
It'll be the 4th by the time this comes out, so whatever.
Yeah. Not like they would have known if we messed up.
Yeah, I should just start saying the 4th and then it'll work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm your host, Ryan. With me, as always, Tyler.
What's up?
Somewhere. What's been up, man? It's been a couple weeks since we've podcasted.
It has been a while. It feels it's longer than 2 weeks too, because we kind of delayed this till Monday. But no, school's been up. I don't know. It's not even like midterms. It's just school wants to pile on its work, and I don't want it to happen. But
I had all my midterms last week, and
yeah, you've been in school for a while though, right? Like
since like the 2nd or 3rd of January.
Okay, that's like a week before us, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I've got another midterm on Thursday. I'm super not stoked about it. I really wish I was Jeff, who's just working right now. Like, he's on a co-op, so he's just at a job. All my friends are on co-op right now, except for me. So I'm fucking stuck at school, just like by myself. I'm like, damn you all. Why'd you all have to leave?
Yeah.
Because like I sit around school, I'm like, oh man, I got a 2-hour break. Phone people up, and they're like, oh yeah, you're not at school. You're at a job making $19 an hour, and I'm here.
Wouldn't that be great?
Being broke.
Yeah, I feel ya. No, definitely this month too. But yeah, work and school on top of each other, just kind of piling crap on. I don't know. I really haven't played too many games lately. Nothing of the new. I got Sanctum too. It was on sale the other weekend. I haven't had like a huge chance to play a lot of it, but I've gotten kind of far in the story, I guess. It's pretty fun.
That's not a bad game.
It's interesting. I only paid like $3 for the game and all the DLC, so I was like, oh cool, that's perfectly fine by me. I just use Steam Cash too because I sold a bunch of crates. So yeah. That system's still working, I guess, but yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a tower defense.
You consistently tell me that you don't have time to play a lot of games, but somehow you're selling crates. I don't have time to play games to get crates. How the fuck are you getting crates?
No way. I get crates all the time. I play like an hour or two of Counter-Strike, and I get like 2 or 3 drops. I don't know. I'm just lucky with drops, I guess.
I don't even have the time to play an hour or 2 of Counter-Strike. Like, fucking...
Dude, I have to sometimes. It's just like
after this podcast, I have to go write a bunch of sequel.
I have to. Hey, I had to watch a Smosh video. I have to finish that. I'm almost done.
You didn't finish the Smosh? How fucking? They gotta be only like 10 minutes long.
No, it's 6 minutes, but I have to record my likability level every 10 seconds.
So every 10 seconds, you have to like fucking pause it.
And then I have to go like, what happened here? And I think the highest points. And the lowest points, like the 3 of each, I have to list what happened and why I was excited or not. And my highest point so far is like it's right at the end of the video. It's the 10 seconds before the last 10 seconds, and they show a trailer for some really crude anime drawings they did, and it's like that's like green screened over them acting, and it looks really stupid but kind of funny. I don't know. My professor also said that he didn't enjoy the video, and he thought maybe we would, but no. He also did bring up PewDiePie in class, and no one heard of him, which was fantastic, because I have, and I didn't raise my hand, because I'm not going to talk about this, because I would just go on for an hour about why I can't stand people screaming at their microphones, but...
Man, YouTube.
Yeah, so it's like a ratings analysis class, so... Whatever.
It makes me really mad that I just can't go down to that level and just scream in a mic. Imagine if we screamed in a mic for an hour a week but broke it into 6 episodes. Fucking we'd have like 30,000 subs, man.
So much
it wouldn't
content.
Be a podcast ananymore, but it'd take as much time, probably be easier, because I don't we have to read news and play video games.
Yeah, that's the problem. We have to play video games, and I'm not really doing that. But I don't know. I can still kind of stay current on stuff.
I've played a couple games. I played some weird shit this week. Well, one really strange thing, and then one thing that I've talked about my love before of, but haven't played it in years because I know what happened the last time that I played it.
Oh no.
So,
what games are those?
So I started playing Dragon Age Origins again.
Okay.
That's in the summer that I graduated. I think I sunk like 400 hours into it just in like the summer, like 3 months.
I didn't know that game was like that big to be able to do that many hours in.
There's a lot of mods.
Oh, okay.
It's a big game in the first place. It's gonna take you like a long time to finish, but yeah. Well, I do all the side quests and stuff, but there's also some like I downloaded all of the like the crazy hard dungeons that the community made, where they're like, you need to have beat the game, hit on like the hardest difficulty, hit this level, and now you can do this dungeon and maybe beat it. I was like, am I gonna go into a dungeon and spend 120 hours trying to finish it? Yup. So I started playing that again a little bit. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. It's just like, it's like Baldur's Gate, and so I like it.
I don't know if I ever touched. I think I played Baldur's Gate at a friend's house on LAN once, but I don't really know too much about it. I know that
there's like the old Baldur's Gate games for PC where they're like top-down party RPGs, but there's also one that was for Xbox that was like pretty good. That was kind of like Diablo, but with a controller. So I guess it's like Diablo 3 on console. That's what it was like. It was like Diablo 3 on console, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like Baldur's Gate 1 or 2, so. But I've been playing that, and then I found out Viva Pinata is on PC. So I played it. So I was listening to the Bombcast by Giant Bomb. It's like probably the only good video game podcast on the internet besides this one.
Yeah, we're number 2. They're number 1.
Yeah, we're the number 2 video game podcast on the internet, right behind Giant Bomb.
Mega 64, they're behind us.
I don't even know who those people are.
They're more of a comedic podcast. They claim to be like they're like
Smosh.
No,
I'm kidding. I know who Mega 64 are, by the way.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I'm like, I think we've talked about them before. No, comparing them to Smosh is kind of like an insult, but no, I wouldn't really consider them complete gaming. It's more.
Is that kind of like how Rooster Teeth is a gaming thing? Like,
yeah.
They're not really gaming.
No.
Fucking Rooster Teeth started doing a gaming podcast this like last year. Like just a gaming podcast, and then took the gaming part out of their regular podcast and put their regular podcast in like comedic.
Right. But
their gaming podcast like frustrates the shit out of me because they just start talking about stuff, usually the same stuff we talk about, but get it all wrong. And I'm just fuck. Just read the press release.
Yeah.
They'll be like, why didn't Microsoft implement this feature in the Xbox One? And it is implemented, and it's like, it's one of the key features, you fucks. They pay you how much money to do this?
Oh, yeah, that's bad. No, I don't follow them that closely. It's funny because when I think of them, I think of Red versus Blue, like right off the bat, and I always have. But
I only watched the Rooster Teeth podcast. I don't like Red versus Blue.
See, so, I was
not into Halo.
I was big into the first Halo. I'm never like an Xbox Halo person. The first Halo on PC was like the coolest game ever when I played it. But that's kind of how I got into like all the mods, and then eventually into Rooster Teeth. But I haven't really followed them since that. It was like a couple episodes, so.
Yeah, I was just never super into it. But Viva Pinata is like maybe the last good game that Rare made. They made it after they got bought by Microsoft, and it was for the Xbox 360. And I owned it when I had a 360. People used to give me shit because they're like, "That's a kid's game," and I'm like, "Fuck you, man! You get to you have pinatas. You make them have sex with each other. Then they make more pinatas, and then you have bigger pinatas. Eat those pinatas so that they can have sex with other pinatas to make more pinatas. It's great. Okay,
yeah, no.
You have a garden full of pinatas."
I had a friend back in high school, and she was really into it. So
It's awesome.
I never played it though. I never, but like I can see where people were saying if you look at the cover of it or any of the gameplay, it's kind of
Well, it's E for everyone. It is a kid game, but it's deep.
it's an E for everyone, but it has sex in it. So
well, they call it romancing, and they don't have sex; they dance, and then that makes a baby somehow. But some of those dances are pretty suggestive.
Those blocky ass pinatas, man.
Oh man, but I'm playing it in 1080p. Everything's all smooth and nice, and they're not too blocky. They're all. If you could, I'm making so many hand movements right now, and you can't see them.
Yeah, no, I'm out of. I can hear the wind getting cut. I just don't know what's going
on. That's my transformer noise.
Oh.
It's been a long day.
Michael Bay probably just. Ooh, I had a bad one last week. But...
Yeah, I had a calc one that I got back today that I failed real bad. I overloaded my course load.
See, I have the same amount of classes, but it's one less credit. But it feels like I have 2 more classes than I did last semester. It sucks. I have an art class, but a computer art class basically. I'm using Illustrator, and it's so much work, and it's only a 5-week class, and I'm on week 4, and I can't wait to get done with this. I don't have to waste my time on it, but Jesus, so much time into that class. What you gonna do though?
Who knows?
Anywho, any other games or just those 2 for this week?
I'm about half an hour away from being finished the Banner Saga review.
Oh,
like I mean, I beat that game twice now, but yeah, I have like another half an hour of editing to do, and I have to record the outro, which I'm just gonna do on this mic, and there's gonna be some things there and links on the screen and things happening, and then I have to record one more part where I'm on camera, where I say that I'm gonna do one of those a month, even though I meant for that review to be out 2.5 weeks ago. So that means that the review that I was gonna do this month doesn't have to come out until the middle of March.
That's true.
It was a fucking master ruse. Especially because the game that I'm reviewing this month doesn't come out until the 18th.
Oh yeah, no, that's
it's a management game, and so there's not like a beating the game. There's you played the game for 80 hours.
No,
like
you kind of get the gist of it.
Like I have to play it for long enough to know everything about it, but I don't know when I know everything about it because there's no end. So
that game just keeps going. What is it going to be? Football Manager 2015?
No, it's Banished. It's a game that I've been excited for since since last summer, but I feel like I'm the only person in the world who knows that it exists. It's a management game. You have like a town, like a settlement that you're trying to like. Okay, it's a super realistic sim where you have a settlement that you're trying to basically have survive, and you have a small amount of people settled out in the middle of nowhere, like in a forest, and they have to survive. So like you get them to chop down trees and build buildings and get fish and stuff. But the weather system is really intricate, and so when you hit like winter, for example, like you can't grow food anymore, and so you have to have enough food saved up to make it through the winter. But also like things like other animals, for example, out in the forest also will be needing to get food for the winter, so like you need to keep your food like locked up and like safe from wolves and shit. Yeah. And if there's not enough people like in the town, then the wolves might like stalk the settlers, and so like if your settlers go out to get food in the night, then like the wolves might eat them. So like there's a whole ton of stuff in there.
It sounds pretty interesting.
No one's played it yet because it's not out yet, but
I was thinking more of like a team management game. I don't know. I don't really know of other management games like what you were explaining, but it kind of reminds me of like a
Sim like City I would call almost, like Sim City is a management game.
Yeah.
And like Roller Coaster Tycoon is a management game, but this is like I would say it's a lot like Maya. Maya's another game that I've been playing a little bit of. It's an alpha, but it's like a space settlement game where you have a bunch of space settlers and you get them to do stuff. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's a management game, like Mall Tycoon or something else.
Yeah.
but people die in this one.
But wolves attack you, and you have to gather food.
Yeah.
So,
mall stuff.
Yeah.
Things you do at theme parks.
You go to malls, you go to theme parks.
People don't think it be like it is, but it do what it be. I said that all wrong. There's an action. That's not at all what it is. I'm just gonna say that now before someone else comes along and fucking hits me in the back of the head with a bat or something.
Oh, jeez.
Canada's a violent place. What can I say?
I thought it was pretty peaceful, but
now we hate people.
What about EverQuest? Did you play that? Are we saving that for later?
Let's talk about EverQuest right now because you just brought it up. EverQuest
Segway.
Next Landmark. Master of the Segways. No, I didn't play that because I don't have $120.
It's an alpha, am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's an alpha.
Yeah. That's a lot of money. So I'm guessing alpha gets you the game too, but also access to alpha.
Well, the game is free to play. So this just gets you access to the alpha, and it gets you access to the beta, because it's not open right now. But when it launches, it's going to be free to play. So, I mean, anyone can play it.
Does it get you EverQuest? Is EverQuest Next the game, the actual name of the game?
Yeah.
Okay.
And EverQuest Next Landmark is the building tool for it.
Yeah. Does it get you a copy of Next then, or
is that just Next is going? I don't think they're going to charge you for Next. I think you're just going to have to pay a sub.
Oh,
it doesn't have anything to do with EverQuest Next at all, I don't think.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot of money.
The cheapest that you can get into the alpha is $60, and that gets you a key for you. But I think it's $120, and you get, or no, it might be $140, and you get 4 keys for the closed beta. So that means you get in now, and then when it gets around to beta, you can invite 3 other people.
That's not bad.
But it's an alpha. It's a lot of money for alpha or a beta
something
for
that's
a
not
game
really...
that's going to be free.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I don't really know why we would pay that much. Damn.
People are just fucking nuts, man.
Yeah,
they're crazy. They pay a lot of money to play alphas. Here's the thing. I have a lot of friends who were into Terraria. This is another example. It's not totally related. But they bought Starbound, the alpha for Starbound.
Yeah.
They played the shit out of it, got their characters wiped 9 times, and now they're done with the game. They're oh, we're done, we played enough. The game's not even fucking remotely close to done. So it's you bought a new game to play, only got to play maybe a third of the content that's actually going to be in the game at release, so you played it for a third as long as you would normally, but you're totally done. Because you're so sick of that 1/3 of the game. People are just fucking nuts. They're I need something new to play right now. And they always need something new, every couple of days. And they never finish anything. And I'm just how can you do that? Games are too expensive for that shit. And there's too many, games out.
That kind of reminds me of Rust. A lot of my friends have that now. And
all my friends have Rust. Every fucking one of them.
Yeah, I see a lot of people, my friends, playing it, and I'm
it was the number 2 top selling game on Steam behind DayZ.
Yeah,
both games that aren't done, and I'm just how can you're gonna be so sick of that when it releases that you're never gonna play it? You're never gonna play it in a finished state,
right? And it looks pretty simplistic now, and I'm just I don't know. It's kind of like Minecraft for that sense where, I mean, you can constantly add to Minecraft, but how much better can it get? I don't know. But I see what you're saying because I feel they're playing a lot and they're really invested. One of my friends has a server for it where they play on whatever. But I feel you're good. Yeah, like you said, you're gonna wear it out, and once all the other content comes out, you're just gonna we played it when it's actually at its peak. So
yeah, well, I already know a bunch of people who've done that with games that.
Like you were saying, Starbound.
Yeah, so. Starbound. DayZ, I know shitloads of people who played the mod.
The armor one?
Yeah, and they're I don't want to play the full release. I don't want to play the actual game because, whatever.
Yeah.
I played enough of it. And I'm just it's crazy to me. It's fucking insane.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they're doing that. Like, is that part of the green light system where they can release alphas?
No, it's not part of that. It's just because Minecraft did it and it made Minecraft hugely successful. Like, I understand as a developer why you would want to do it, because it's basically money to keep making the game.
Right.
So, like, you don't need to get investment money. Like, you don't need to go to an investor or, like, get a publisher or anything. But for people who are playing games, I think they're fucking crazy because they're just ripping through games that they're never going to end up playing the full version of.
Right. And you're just going to miss a lot of content. It's going to be wasted. So, yeah, I don't really know any other good examples of that yet. But, I mean, I've seen a lot of games on on Steam Greenlight, and they're just alpha, and I'm like, that looks awesome, but I'm not going to buy it because I just... Oh, like, the next car game, I'm pretty sure is the name of it. It looks by Bugbear. It looks freaking awesome. They made Flat Out.
Yeah.
It looks great, and I love the Flat Out games, and this one looks just crazy, but like I think it's an alpha. I'm not positive on that.
There's a game that I've been having troubles not buying. That's an alpha. Divinity Original Sin. It's like a 2-player RPG.
Not.
Look it up. It's made by the guys who made Divinity 2, well, 1 and 2, I think. But Divinity Original Sin was like, it's looking to be probably one of the better RPGs coming out this year. And I mean, I'm excited for it. And I want to play it now because it's like in a pretty playable state, but then I'm not going to play it later.
Right.
And I would way rather play it later when it's done. So I'm just like, I could spend $60 on this and play it now.
Yeah, and that's...
Or in 4 months I could pay $60 and play the finished version. And then like the same thing with Broken Age. Like I want to buy Broken Age right now, but only the first half of the game's out, so I don't really want to buy it.
Right, and then come back to it later.
Except that's a point and click, so I mean, it's not mechanically going to change. It's just content. That's kind of like when that'd just be like the Left 4 Dead or the Walking Dead series by Telltale. Yeah,
where it's kind of just like they add more content eventually.
Well, they do it like episodically. Chapters. But so like with Broken Age, I mean, it's a little different than it is with like Divinity Original Sin, where you have a game that's not feature complete. So like, I mean, True. Mechanically that game's going to change. So the beginning of that game could be different.
Mm-hmm.
But like Broken Age, the beginning is not going to change. It's done.
Yeah, that's true. It's just adding more content. Yeah, I there is quite a bit of a difference. That game does look pretty sweet though. I'm looking at it right now. It just looks interesting.
Yeah, there's like lots of cool environment interaction in that game. So it's a game that I want to play, especially in 2-player because it apparently is much better. Like it's designed around it.
Yeah,
and it's got a lot of neat systems for it.
And there's a level editor.
Yeah, there is. There's like crazy mod tools for that game. So speaking on this whole episodic games thing, The Wolf Among Us, episode 2, number 2, comes out tomorrow. Man. Finally.
Did you play the first one?
No, because I didn't want to wait 4 months. Like, it was supposed to come out in like November or something. It's been a long time since the first episode came out. And so, yeah. I'm not buying any Telltale games pretty much until they start getting them done. Like The Walking Dead, season 2, I'll buy it when the second last episode comes out, I think.
And then kind of play
that gives me enough time to like play through the 4 episodes before the 5th one comes out. And I'll probably do the same thing like with Wolf Among Us, and then with the Game of Thrones one that they're making, I'll probably do the same thing with that.
Oh man.
It's just that like I can't buy a game, play 2 hours of it, and then be like, man, in 3 months I get to play another 2 hours of this 10-hour game. Like, fucking don't want to do that. Yeah. I'm so sick of episodic games. Like, already. I mean, Half-Life episode 3, man. It's been like a decade. Where's it at, man? Where's it at?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for them either. Just for like exactly what you're saying. It's just like it feels like an incomplete game, and you want the whole experience kind of in one package. I think Half-Life 3 is a little different because
No man,
there's
Half-Life 2 Episode 3. They need to finish it.
yeah.
It's supposed to be like 5 episodes. They like designed it into like 5 or 6 episodes, and they only released 2 of them.
they're
And then they're like, man, episodic content not so great.
maybe that's like that's just what they want to do. Is they're never gonna release that game. Like they're just done with that franchise, and they just want to see how long people can be mad about it.
Well, they said that they're pretty much done with Half-Life because like no one at Valve actually wants to make it, and the thing is that at Valve you only work on projects you want to work on. So,
Oh, why wouldn't anyone want to make it? It's just
because how the fuck do you follow up Half-Life 2? How do you
what-
do it? That's what I thought.
I mean, in the course of how many years has it been? I think someone would have a good idea of how to do
No
it.
matter what you make, it's not going to be what people wanted.
Well, I think that it's just been such a large gap between like them releasing a game that people just want it so bad that the criticism would be incredibly harsh, no matter what it was. Because they waited so long, and I don't know. Maybe Valve's like past that point of return where they can't really make it, so they're just like, "Fuck it, we're not gonna do it." But your point is pretty valid, though. I didn't know that's like, is that their like, I don't know, slogan? They only make games they want to.
Pretty much. Like, at Valve, you're like, I want to do this, and then you try and get a bunch of people together to work on it. And then if you can't, then you go join someone else's project. Like, you work on your own projects, man. That's why they always have so much shit going on.
That game made by the developers for Left 4 Dead, what's that about? Have you heard anything? I think it's called Evolve.
I know the game you're talking about. It sounds a lot like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, but it's 4v1.
I haven't read it. I'm uninterested in speculating about games that we have no information about. So
I don't know. I'm interested.
That's why, like, I mean, they're like, we're making a game. Okay.
Well, when's the release date? Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it looks like Left 4 Dead, but I'm interested because I like Left 4 Dead, so that's a good thing going for him.
Yeah, it is. So, speaking of Valve, Dota 2, big old event going on right now.
Big old New Year's
Bloom Festival.
I do want to say they released a game mode along with that. That sounds like the most incredible thing to ever be released.
I want to play it.
Did you hear it?
I haven't played. I don't even know what it is. I want to. Oh, takeover mode.
No, maybe no. It's random ability mode. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is though. Where I think it's ability draft mode is what it's called. Where I think you select a hero. It doesn't really matter what hero you are at this point because.
And then you get random abilities.
Yeah, you get random abilities. It sounds like the coolest thing in the world.
Oh man, I have to. Okay, so I made a terrible mistake about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So I met this girl. And it turns out she's really into video games. And she plays Dota 2 with her friends online.
Oh. Yeah.
And I was like, I play Dota 2. Worst mistake ever. Because she's like, I prefer League because like I'm good at it, but all my friends play Dota, so I've been having to learn how to play Dota. I was like, I play Dota. It's not that hard. I'm so fucking bad at Dota. Dude. I'm awful at it. I know all the strategy and all the builders. I'm just bad at Dota because I don't know I don't know the timings of characters yet. So I'm just not good at the game.
No, it's...
Why'd I say that? And so, I'm constantly looking for people to play Dota with that aren't her so I can get good at Dota before I ultimately have to play Dota with her eventually. If that makes any sense.
You could just jump into it. It makes sense, yeah, because you don't want to like...
I've already said I'm good at it.
You talked yourself up. Hey, I'm awesome at this game. Let's play together. No, you kind of be like, oh, I dabble in it. I
didn't say let's play together. I said I'm good at it. Okay.
Oh.
I'm not stupid enough to lie about my abilities and then volunteer myself to show them off, unless it's Counter-Strike, where I'm always like, I was really good at Counter-Strike, which I was, but I'm not so much anymore because I don't play it.
Yeah.
But I'll be like, let's play Counter-Strike. And it's still enough to impress people who don't play Counter-Strike. It's just not enough to impress people who play it, because you're like, you're bad. It's like, yeah, I know, because I haven't played in like a year and a half.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying, because like when people watch me, they're kind of like, I don't know, not like, I'm not gonna say like they're in awe, but it's kind of like they can tell like, okay, you know this game, because I was playing with a friend, and he just recently started playing, and it's just funny. It's just funny to watch people like hold down their mouse button and like spray a lot. It's just great.
I spray and go because I do it in Source, but only because in Source I naturally know all of the fucking patterns, because there's like only one spray pattern, so I'm just like, hold down, pull down to the left, headshot. In Go I do that and miss all my shots, and I'm like, fuck, son of a bitch, why'd I do that? Like, I know it doesn't work, but I don't play Go. Like, I have like 7 years of Source ingrained into me, and like 2 months ago.
It's a bit hard to transition over, but I catch myself doing that too. But that's more of watching people play. Like, I watch a lot of highlights. I don't really watch a lot of like streams or anything, because they kind of get boring. But it's like, I see like, it's like shoot 4 bullets and then just aim down. I'm like, okay, I can do this, and I'm like not doing it correct at all. Where I'm just like hitting the ground in front of me. I gotta get it down. But I just play with her. I mean, I can't be that bad. I mean,
well, if I play Omni Knight, they'll be like, man, you did really good because it's the only character I know. But then we can't play draft.
I'll play a sport. Oh yeah, you're like, I'll pick, or I'm not playing with you.
Yeah, because like, I only know Omni Knight. Like, I can't even play other supports. I can only play Omni Knight.
But he's a pretty straightforward support, because
he's fucking OP. You're just like, bubble, heal.
Yeah. But
make everyone invincible.
The route to go here is you say, okay, we'll play, but I only do random draft, I believe it's called, where you get you get an int, an agi, and a strength hero. That means you're forced to play people you don't know. Maybe she would be too. And you just be like, oh, I don't know this character. We're like, I'm only good with these guys.
But if you're like, I only play random draft, you're expected to know a character. like I only know Omni Knight.
Or you could pull something off like, let's play some Dota, and then she starts playing Dota 2. You're like, oh, I only play the original. I don't know anything about this one.
No,
that'd be great. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Just get good at it. Play with bots.
Yeah, I just need to start playing that game more.
Yeah, that's hard too, because I can play Counter-Strike in like really small increments where I'll hop on, play a map. It's like 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah,
Dota's not that.
Well, you're investing like a substantial amount of time into Dota.
Yeah, and that's why I don't know if I think it's Strife is the game from S2.
Are they the guys who made Han?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that game's supposed to aim to take like game times down. Maybe I'm wrong.
Heroes of the Storm is supposed to do the same thing too. Like, games in Heroes of the Storm are only supposed to be like 15 minutes.
Yeah, so that's kind of appealing to me, because I don't. That's kind of my biggest turn away for League and Dota, is just like
I like Dota as a game. I mean, I played a lot of it. If that okay, I haven't played a lot of it in the terms of playing Dota 2. But I played a lot of it in terms of playing like a regular game that has like a campaign and stuff. I played a lot more than 8 hours of it, if that makes sense. But I mean, I've played like 40 hours of it since beta, like over the the time of the closed beta and then release. So I mean, it's not a lot of Dota. It's just a lot of hours for like a game.
Right.
But the thing is that Dota takes hundreds of hours. Like, by this time, I should be hitting my 200 to 3 hour mark. I should be over 200 at this point and nearing 300 if I was playing it consistently. But I don't. So I'm way less than that.
Yeah. Whatever.
Speaking of Heroes of the Storm, that's right. We got all kinds of segues.
Boom.
This is a bad one. It's not a very good segue.
Oh,
Here's
yeah,
the storms made by Blizzard. So let's talk about World of Warcraft.
Oh,
They hit 100 and million. 100 and million. They hit 100 million lifetime World of Warcraft accounts in the last 2 weeks.
Hey, wait. Like, okay.
Not characters, accounts.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily active right now, but they've had like 100 million accounts since
unique
the game
accounts.
launched. Yeah, unique accounts.
That's pretty crazy. That's quite a few.
There's a ton. They released like a bunch of infographics that were really interesting. I
love infographics.
What is it? So every day there's 2.8 million like trades via the auction house in World of Warcraft. There's like a 900,000 player versus environment instances, so like raids and dungeons a day.
900,000?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So it's like, yeah, there's just a lot. There's World of Warcraft will be 10 years old this year, and I feel like that's a game that's always going to be important in gaming, like at least history-wise. Like a lot of the people, or well, not really people that I keep contact with. I mostly only keep contact with people from Counter-Strike, but like World of Warcraft was like a really big part of my life for like a really long time, and I still play it sometimes.
Right.
Like when new expansions come out, I buy them, I play them, and then after a couple months, I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Got your fill.
It's still something that's really enjoyable, and it's still one of the best MMOs out there. So,
yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean,
it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and I think it's like it's just kind of a staple for gaming too. When you think about it outside of the world of gaming, when people kind of think about that, they think about that, and then I mean that can bring its good and bad ideas, but like from people outside of the gaming community, and it's funny because a lot of my classes bring that, like that's one of the go-to games. That and Second Life, but that's just such a weird.
I don't know anyone who plays.
No,
I didn't even know what Second Life was until well after I was playing WoW.
Yeah, I mean that's like professors like to talk about that. It's not really a staple of gaming. It's just like, okay, what, like, well, let's mention this. Maybe some kids will know about it. But no,
it's computer sciences. So when people talk about WoW, they like all play it. Even my profs, they're not like, think about WoW. They're like, man, I fucking was playing WoW before this. Like,
yeah, my TA for a class.
Your camera froze, by the way.
Is it back on? Someone called.
No, it's not back on.
I just muted myself.
Your TA?
Yeah, my TA played it for one of my classes, and it was pretty interesting because it was a relationships theory class, so we kind of like talked about relationships in games, and that was one of the references because of how you can interact with people within the game. But my boss actually plays it too, where I work, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's been around for a while, and like it just forms such a tight-knit community sometimes. So I like you're saying, it's gonna stay around for a while, but it just feels outdated now, though, doesn't it? I mean,
well, they announced the new expansion at BlizzCon this year, and they announced a lot of updates that are coming. Like they're redoing all of the models in the game for all the characters, so that they've like doubled the poly count on characters.
Wow.
And like they're redoing the shaders, and like for this next expansion they're doing like not just a slight increment in graphics quality like they do normally. They're like revamping the whole thing. I don't know mechanically what's going to happen because they haven't really talked too much about that, but they're like, here's the new models that we have for the characters in the game that are coming out with the new expansion, and like they're really, I mean, it's a 10-year-old game, so it should look 5 years old after this expansion.
Yeah.
It's just such a hugely popular game that you can't support a game like that and only rely on people with powerhouse computers. So It's like Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike fucking runs on anything.
Yeah.
So
I've had some issues with it, but that's just weird. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying, because I think such a huge base of players for a while don't have like strong computers, and that's kind of like one of the appeals for it. But where like something as Guild Wars 2 prides itself on how beautiful it looks, but at the same time, like you'd have to have a
Guild Wars 2 is a good-looking MMO for like in comparison to WoW because it's new. Guild Wars 2 is not the best-looking game that I've seen.
No, not by any means, and I think that's just because you have to dumb it down because it's an MMO. That's like just how it goes. But I mean, like, I guess it is 10 years old, like you're saying, so there's not really much else you can do besides patch it. But I don't even think that's part of the appeal. People play it because of millions of other reasons rather than the graphics. So
pretty much only lore. It's why I'm really excited for the new expansion. I like waited like a year to buy Mists of Pandaria pretty much, but Warlords of Draenor, I'm buying that fucking day one.
Sounds kind of
because it is all about like pre-Warcraft 1 lore. And so it's all the lore that I'm actually super interested in. Like the best story in the Warcraft universe is like Warcraft 1. So, or while it's Warcraft 3, but it involves the characters that was from Warcraft 1. So, and this one's like all of those characters. And I'm just like, you know what? I could totally fucking play this because this has all of the characters that I actually like.
No, I don't really know many characters from it.
Speaking of other games that I'm gonna buy day one, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Holy cow!
Coming to 3DS in 2015. I have to buy a 3DS and Monster Hunter.
Yeah, you have a year to do it. Get on it.
I'll be graduated by then, so I'll have a job and I'll actually be able to afford the 3DS instead of saying I'm gonna buy a 3DS this month, guys. You watch and then not buy it because like, man, I have to pay my car insurance.
Yeah, there's some more important things in games sometimes.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
But Monster Hunter is more important than car insurance, so.
I guess
it is.
Is it basically the same concept on the 3DS as it is on the Wii U?
Yeah, it's so last month or 2 months ago or something like that. Well, I guess it would have been 3 months ago now because I'm pretty sure it came out at the end of 2013. But Monster Hunter 4 came out in Japan for 3DS. It's a 3DS exclusive, and basically they're gonna finally release it in North America as Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate.
Okay.
So I'm stoked on that because Monster Hunter is my favorite game series.
As none of us know already.
None of you know. It's a fucking mystery. It's a secret. I keep it tightly under wraps. No one knows I like Monster Hunter, okay? Don't tell anyone. It's my only weakness. My list of only weaknesses goes like Monster Hunter, heroin, cocaine, The Witcher, my one kind of fucked up shoulder. That's in that order, my list of only weakness.
Yeah.
Because I only have one weakness.
Well.
So, I'm super stoked on that, man. Because they don't always release Monster Hunter games in North America.
But 3 was pretty successful, wasn't it?
It was kind of okay. It wasn't hugely successful. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate wasn't particularly successful. Monster Hunter Tri wasn't particularly successful. Like, at least in the West.
Right. It rates pretty well, though, I thought.
Yeah, in the West it's been doing better in reviews because people are like understand what the game is now. The problem is that reviewers would play it for 8 hours and be like, this game's stupid. It's like all a tutorial. It doesn't make sense. The thing is, because they can't beat the game because the game's like 600 hours long.
Right.
So they never bother to play it for 80 hours because you don't get into the actual game until 10 hours in.
It is 10 hours of tutorial, and then it's
like it literally, yeah, pretty much. Like they're like, we're going to work you up to fighting like in the first 10 hours, you pretty much spend it like working up to fighting one big monster that's actually hard, and then the game starts. When you beat that one monster, everything before, like in Monster Hunter Tri, everything before the Lagiacrus is a fucking joke, and until you beat the Lagiacrus, you don't have any real hard monsters. The Lagiacrus is where like the actual mechanics of the game are all combined together, and you actually need to start like crafting stuff, like crafting health potions and like traps and shit to use when you're in combat. And also have like good gear, and you have to start getting good at the combat system so that you like are actually paying attention and looking for like subtle tells for when they're going to do like a tail whip, or like if they're going to do like a barrel roll, and you have to get good at water combat. And water combat is fucking hard in that game because like you're swimming, so you're like moving in like 9 axis instead of 4,
right?
Or I guess 3 axis movement instead of 2 axis movement, because like you can go up and down and then left and right and in and out, and normally you can only do in and out and left and right on land. So like you have to start getting really good at the combat. Like the Lagiacrus is the first monster that you actually fight that is a real monster in that game.
Are
and it's 10 hours in.
Are all monsters huge, or are some of them just regular?
There's like small monsters, but you don't like hunt them. Like you don't get a quest or like a mission to go kill small monsters. They're just there.
Okay.
You can kill them and like take loot off of them. All of the monsters are big, yes, but the hard ones are even bigger.
I love that theory.
Yeah.
If it's bigger, it's definitely stronger.
Yeah, pretty much. Some of them are smaller, but they can fly. Like, like it'll be like not as big as, let's say, the Lagiacrus, but it has flight. It'll be like a dragon.
How do you spell this?
Lagiacrus.
Got it. Oh, I see it now.
The Lagiacrus is really big. It's like 30 meters long. So, yeah.
Is that a water combat? Because he looks like kind of like a fish.
You have to fight him on land and in water.
Man, they throw you in it. They don't mess around.
Yeah.
10 hours in, though.
10 hours in. Well, to be fair, it's like more like 6 if you know what you're doing already. The tutorial in that game is really important because it actually teaches you how to play the game, and Monster Hunter is just not an easy game. Harder than Dark Souls.
Whoa.
So I think this is the time to insert that ad.
Boom.
So I'm gonna read this, and then we'll get on to the last half of these topics. We'll go back to that Nintendo stuff. Oh man, I'm trying to find. I found it. I'm gonna shut up now. For you, the listeners of the Dapper Gaming Podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. The book I'm going to recommend today is A Feast for Crows, A Song of Ice and Fire, book number 4 by George R.R. Martin. Because Game of Thrones starts in March, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
They're covering book 4 in the next season of Game of Thrones, and it starts in a month. And so they're covering book 3, 4, and 5 in the next season. You have a lot to listen to or read.
Yeah. And let's be honest, it's
Who
way
has all that
quicker
time to
to
read?
listen.
I know, right? Save you so much time. You could listen to 3 or 4 books at the same time, man. You could be reading a book and listening to a book.
You can read along with
read
Audible.
Along. That's so weird, man. No one does that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't really think. I mean,
you
might as well just
it'd be
listen
real strange. I don't know if I could read as fast as I can talk.
That's true.
So
no, I mean, you're not a speed reader.
Nah, not a speed reader. So yeah, to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/dapper. Again, that is audibletrial.com/dapper for your free audiobook. Dapper. DAPPER. help pay those hosting fees. Got to pay those hosting fees. They're real expensive. That's why I have no money.
All because of hosting fees.
Yep, this podcast made me broke. Now how many video games I could buy like 3 more video games a year, man.
Oh, dude. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Video games.
Video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
It's the right choice. So, Nintendo, after like a lot of losses for several quarters in a row because of the Wii U, have announced that they're looking to do kind of a new pricing scheme for their games. So, they're looking to do like a variable pricing model for people who buy more games from Nintendo. The games are cheaper.
I like it. I think it's a good loyalty program, and I think they already have that going for them in something like Nintendo. I don't know what's that called? Nintendo points. I don't know what it is. When you buy
Club Nintendo.
Yeah, Club Nintendo.
Where you get like Nintendo reward points, and then you buy posters with them.
Yeah, coolest thing ever. I mean, I'd like a couple posters once in a while. Be sweet. Yeah, I think that's a good program.
I got so many fucking posters from them last year that I have a bunch of posters sitting on my floor because I have places to hang them, but I don't have anything to hang them with. Like I need to get push pins.
Oh.
Because I tried using sticky tack, but the posters are too heavy.
Yeah, that's always the worst.
Yeah.
Or if you pull paint off your walls, that's another story. But
I've got wallpaper.
So. Oh, you're good to go. Did they really announce the price? Like
they didn't. They didn't. Anything? No, they're just like, we're looking into possibly doing this, which is something that no one else has done before. So,
which would make sense for Nintendo to do. Something that no one else has done before.
Yeah, I mean they haven't really changed. The pricing for video games hasn't really changed over the last 30 years. So. It's besides Steam, like
True.
That's the only big change in the last 30 years, the pricing of video games. The price hasn't even gone up or down. Well, actually, it's gone down a lot. That's it. That's the only thing that's happened. The price of a video game has gone down consistently.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I saw South Park on Steam, where you can pre-order it. That's pretty expensive for a game. I don't remember the last time I paid.
How much is it? It's like $70 or something?
I think it's 60.
Oh, it's a full 60 on PC. Yeah, that's weird. Normally it's 50.
Never. I don't think I think I got out of like the console generation when games started to be a little bit more expensive, and I was just kind of like,
games are like fucking $70 on a console after tax. Kills me, man.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's even more expensive on Xbox One and PlayStation because those games are $70 each, I think. Ooh. Wii U games cost me $70 after tax. They're like $68.
That's
if you get the physical version,
right? But hey, maybe Nintendo will help you out there.
Yeah, maybe
take a chunk of them off. That's neat though.
Yeah, it's a cool little experiment. This is in the segue, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Did you see Middle Earth? Shadow of Mordor? No.
Afraid not.
This is looking like the worst game announced so far this year. Because it's Lord of the Rings, but just with Assassin's Creed combat. And that just looks not fun at all. Because Assassin's Creed is a bad series. And it's boring.
With Lord of the Rings characters, it would be like a tad bit more interesting, so...
But it's not with, like, Gimli or anything like that. It's some dude that they made up, and it's just in the Lord of the Rings universe.
Oh. Yeah, I can deal with that. Go back to Lego games. That's where you shined.
Yeah.
No, is there gameplay up for this game yet? Like, trailers or anything?
There is a trailer, and it has like a gameplay thing, and
I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, watch it, and then be like, that doesn't look fun. Because here's the thing, like, when Assassin's Creed initially was shown, everyone's like, that shit looks fun. That is a cool idea. It's been like 6 years. Fuck, it's not fun. Wasn't fun. Not really ever.
Nope.
No.
And I feel like you can't really do that style of gameplay with Wizards, so I'm out.
Well, you're playing like a rogue-ish human character.
They should have done it with Wizards. You should have been like an 80-year-old.
Everything is better with Wizards.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Wizards. Done. Ubisoft. Jump on it.
So reference that only I get.
Yeah.
Fantasy fiction podcast, man. One of the best podcasts ever.
I think we were declared we're number 2
in gaming.
Oh,
I would say fantasy fiction probably better than us because it's hilarious. Oh man, that's the segue I should have made based on pricing stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck.
Just cut it so it sounds like you did it.
Yeah. Sony Online Entertainment announced the All Access Pass that comes out this April.
That would have been great segue. This sounds very interesting, and I don't have a PlayStation, so it doesn't really apply.
Well, it's Sony Online Entertainment. They basically only make PC games because they basically only make MMOs. They made PlanetSide 2. They're making EverQuest.
Oh. PlanetSide 2 is not pay to play though, is it?
No, but you can subscribe to it. You get you get rewards for subscribing to it. Like you can pay a subscription fee every month, and you get a bunch of free points and shit.
What else do they make? Because I totally thought this was just a PlayStation Plus add-on type deal. I didn't know.
This is for PC games.
Yeah. This is a little more interesting.
So there's a current all access pass that exists from Sony Online Entertainment, which is $20 a month. This is going to replace it at $14.99, and it gets you a subscription to DC Universe Online, PlanetSide 2, EverQuest, EverQuest 2, Vanguard Saga of Heroes, and Wizardry Online. And when EverQuest Next and EverQuest Next Landmark come out, then it will expand to those 2 games as well. And so, basically, oh yeah, and then if you buy it in 3, 6, and 12 month chunks, then it's even cheaper a month.
That's pretty sweet.
So
that's really not that expensive either.
At $15 a month, no. When you look at like World of Warcraft, which is you have to pay $15 a month for.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty sick deal.
I mean, I don't play a lot of those games, but I can definitely see this being a great deal because it cuts down on having to pay 2 separate subscriptions and everything, and that's just cheap. Make it all one service and you're done. So
yeah. When EverQuest Next comes out, I would highly consider buying that.
That's true. Plus,
then you get, because PlanetSide 2 is a game that I really enjoy but don't have the time to play all of the time, and so I can't unlock all the guns. So this is a good way for me to get guns.
That's what I was gonna say. It kind of promotes their other games in a way because you don't feel constricted to that one game that you're paying. You pay money for, and you're like, I should probably play it to justify paying so much a month for it. Whereas this spreads across a couple of games. You're just okay, I'll play this game and maybe a little bit of that game. It's smart.
Yeah, it seems like a good deal at that price. Because I probably one of the things about PlanetSide 2 is that it is an MMO, and so you have to play a lot of it to unlock all the shit for free.
Mm-hmm.
EverQuest Next is also an MMO, but it's an MMORPG, so I mean you always have to be kind of making constant progress. I don't know what they're gonna do to monetize that game, because they haven't talked about it yet. But this is a way for me to play EverQuest Next and then still be able to play PlanetSide 2 every once in a while when I feel like it, and not feel like I'm wasting my time because I don't have the guns.
True.
So it's pretty good price.
I'm
pleased with it. Plus, DC Universe Online is actually a not bad game. So
I haven't touched it yet.
It's free to play. It's on Steam. You play as a superhero. It's an MMO. They're all MMOs. They're every single one of them. But
right.
But PlanetSide 2 is the least MMO of them, and that is an MMO. Well, it's not an MMORPG. So I mean, it's probably the most MMO out of them because you get like 2,000 player battles, but
it's a shooter. So
yeah, it's an FPS. So I mean, it's different. It's a cool plan. So there's only 2 more things that I want to talk about. So Microsoft bought Gears of War from Epic last week, which seems real strange. Like, Gears of War was a big title on the Xbox 360. I think that's fair to say, right?
Oh yeah, I think that's one of like.
But like, that series is so like absolutely complete. Like, what are you gonna do with it?
It was pretty. Didn't that kind of wrap up in the third one? I mean, I didn't.
The
play
third one ended it, and then they're like, let's make a 4th one, and it was like a prequel, and it wasn't good, and everyone was like, we've had enough of this.
Yeah,
we never want to see this ever again. This series is over. You should pretend like the 4th one was never made. And Microsoft's like, you know what we should do? Buy it.
Make more of it because people are gonna want it. Yeah, that's a little bit confusing. I watched an Address the Cess on Rev Gaming, and they talked about that. And they were just making jokes about like, what are they gonna do? Go to like another side of the universe where it's like 3 more bros that are just shooting guns. I'm like,
well, the thing is, even mechanically, this game is like antiquated, if that makes sense, because the only thing this game has for it is that you go behind cover and then you shoot people.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of games that aren't third-person shooters that do that equally as well, but have a lot more to offer you. Like Mass Effect 2 and 3, those are better games than Gears of War. And the combat is the same, and it's just as, like, the combat's just as good. You go behind cover, you shoot people in the face with guns.
Mass Effect was really more of a single-player game, though. Did they even have multiplayer?
They had a multiplayer mode in the second one. The multiplayer in Gears of War was never that good in the first place.
I think that was kind of like what defined it for a lot of people.
The Horde mode was like maybe the big thing at a point.
That's right.
But yeah, there's Horde mode in Mass Effect. Like, Horde mode exists in practically fucking everything now. Like,
maybe they'll completely reboot it then.
Like, I just don't see what there is to offer in Gears of War, because like it doesn't have a good story. The universe is kind of meh. Like, at the time it was a mechanically unique game, but now its mechanics exist in everything else.
Yeah,
and they're just as well executed. Like, you can create the mechanics of Gears of War in another game and give it a good story and good characters and everything else, and add a ton more mechanically onto it, and it would be a lot better of a game. But Gears of War is very much restricted to, I go behind cover, shoot people, and cut people in half with a chainsaw gun.
That's the excitement of it. I think it should reboot it, make it something completely different, very colorful, get away from that really gross Unreal Engine looking type shit, make it visually crazily colorful.
I like Unreal Engine. There's lots of good looking stuff in Unreal Engine.
I'm not a fan of it. I mean,
it's just the art style. Like, Epic always designs their characters to be like really big and clunky. They just like do that for some reason. But like Mass Effect 3 is a Unreal Engine game. Mass Effect 2 is an Unreal Engine game.
Well, I'm thinking of
Unreal
Tournament, and it looks exactly like Gears of War.
Yeah, but that's just because that's like the art style that they were going for.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the engine. It's real straight. Like, I know what you're talking about. Like, people assign a look of an engine to a game that the company that made the engine made, but there's tons of good stuff in Unreal Engine. Fucking shitloads of stuff in Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I will say okay. Then that specific art style, I don't like it.
Well, they're not going to get rid of it. It's Gears
well,
of War. You can't give it a huge art direction change and still call it Gears of War. It doesn't make any sense.
It's red and gray and black. It's just gross. I don't know. I get bored with it.
I would be up for giving it new colors, but character design you can't like make skinny.
not bulky meatheads.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be kind of interesting to see what they do with it because it's a popular franchise. So,
but is it popular? Like, I know a ton of people who liked 1, 2, and 3. I don't know anyone who liked number 4, and I don't know anyone who was excited for number 4, and I don't know anyone who would be excited for more Gears. Like, it's done. They ended it.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I really don't know that many people are excited for it because I kind of cut my ties with a lot of console gamers. Like, I don't really talk to a lot of them anymore because I was kind of more of the talk during high school. It's more of, I don't know. I guess people don't play as many video games now because they don't have as much free time. So, but I guess you're kind of right in that sense. Like, I don't think anyone really is like expecting another one to be good or anything, but who knows?
So, let's jump into this last topic. So, the company known as Keng.com, I'm pretty sure that's what they're called and not just Keng. The guys who make Candy Crush Saga and Bubble Witch Saga or whatever the fuck it's called. A bunch of stuff with Saga at the end of their name. The dudes who copyrighted the word candy in video games. Those dudes. So, a game that I finally finished my review on, or well, almost finished editing the review on. I finished the review like fucking 2 weeks ago. But, Stoic, the creators of the Banner Saga, are unable to, like, get the trademark for the name in the second Banner Saga game because Keng are trying to copyright the word Saga for video games. Real silly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a step too far. So would no one else be able to use the word Saga ever again? Is that how it'll work? Or would they have to pay them if they use it? Well,
they're not allowed to use it because it's a registered trademark. You can't like, you can't. It's not like a copyright where you can lease it. Like, it's a trademark. No one else is allowed to do it. So no one can use the word, like, because of Candy Crush, no one can use the word candy in a video game title.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And they're looking to do the same thing with Saga. And the thing is that the Banner Saga, so a saga is an epic Viking tale. That's the definition of a saga. It's a Viking tale.
That kind of explains.
And the Banner Saga is a tale about Vikings. So it's called the Banner Saga. There's a big banner, has a tale woven into it. There's a whole thing. That's why it's called the Banner Saga. And the second one's gonna have saga in the name too, because it's a Viking tale. So it's a saga.
Really doesn't have anything to do with Vikings. So
that's true.
They kind of got them beat. I'm gonna say I don't know. It's a little too far. I mean, I guess in iPhone games it's a little different from like mobile devices and games like that because just recently, Flappy Bird has exploded around campus, and everyone's talking about it. Some new hit iPhone game. That? I don't know what it is. I haven't played it yet. But like, I look on I was looking through games on the app market, and I see a bunch of like imitators, and I think that's kind of what they're going for. Obviously, like they want to be more unique. So when people go look, because Candy Crush Saga really isn't that unique of a game. I mean,
yeah,
it's been done a million times before.
Isn't it just Bejeweled?
It's like a variation of Bejeweled with candy. It's really not like.
It sounds not interesting.
And I think that's kind of what they're just trying to do is they don't want they want people to not copy their name so closely. And it's more towards like mobile devices, but that sucks that it goes in the domain of every other video game. And in general, why would you do that? I mean, that's just kind of, I don't know, trademarking words is kind of
Copyright law in the U.S. is really fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically, like, I just want to see the rest of that series come out because it's really good.
Yeah, that kind of irks me just because how could you even let that, like, I mean, obviously it's not set in stone or anything right now, but that's ridiculous how you can just say, okay, yeah, they have exclusive rights to this word. How can you give exclusive rights to a word in a certain domain? It's just...
Yeah, like after Ken got the copyright on or the trademark on candy, they like just went onto the App Store and started like claiming against a bunch of other apps and saying that they had to pull down their apps because they were infringing on their trademark. Right. And so like games that are completely not like Candy Crush, like even a little, like there's a game that was called like Candy Slots, and it's like a slot machine game but with candy. Yeah. They got pulled down because of that shit. And the thing is, it's insane that fucking Apple is all of a sudden just like willing to pull down games, because they'll never pull down shit that like infringes on copyright ever, but they'll totally do it for trademark law. It's like, fuck you.
Just gotta know how to work them, I guess.
Because like they're perfectly okay with making complete knockoffs of other games, Candy Crush, but they're not okay with like using a similar name, like a trademarked name, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not an original idea, stupid. So why should they have exclusive rights to an original? I don't know.
Protect their brand.
Fuck it. That's frustrating. Especially being such a... I mean, they are, like, I'm guessing one of the bigger mobile developers now because they have quite a few games out, but still... Those games are such fad games anyways, I feel like. Whatever.
Yeah, super, super stupid. So hopefully Stoic gets to make their second game and their third game, because reasons I talk about in the review.
Yeah. Or they can just rename it something just completely
ludicrous. Yeah, but that's a fucking
ludicrous.
Pain in the ass. That's idiotic.
Yeah.
Rename your already existent game trilogy. Get the fuck out of here. Alrighty then, let's wrap this bad boy up, because it's been like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this was solid. We talked about a lot of stuff. We caught up.
Yeah, we did.
We should play some Dota later.
I don't know about that.
Not necessarily tonight.
Oh, okay.
But
then yes, possibly.
Because I need to play some Dota. I need to learn at least a character not Omni Knight.
Yeah, just read up a bunch of lore on all the characters. Just
read
all
their
down.
Lore. Don't bother reading. Don't learn how to play them. Just read the lore.
Don't read their abilities either.
Yeah, those are useless. Who fucking uses abilities, man? Auto attack all day. So I've been Ryan. He's been Tyler. And this has been the 46th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast. What? I don't understand.
I was gonna try to do 46, and I realized that
they can't do that.
I don't have enough digits.
Because it's a 4 and a. I just stuck my tongue out and attached it to my hand, and then had a 4 on.
And flash it.
It's okay. This has been the 46th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast, recorded February 3rd. 2014. We're rolling over. There's another February one around this time. I don't know if it... Probably not on the 3rd, though. Unlikely. Maybe, though. The first episode that we recorded, which was on a Sunday last year, lined up perfectly with a Sunday this year, so... But,
Truth.
Yeah, truth. But we will see you, gentlemen and gentlewomen.
Yep, that's right.
That's correct. We'll see you, duders and duderettes, next week.